Yeah, beautiful Vienna. Wicked to be back. What's up? This is Marlon Roudette. I'm in town. Yeah, going to our first interview of the day on the promo trail. My new album, Electric Soul, is out. It's coming. It's been a couple of years of hard work and digging deep, writing those songs. We've had some really good questions from you guys, and got them all here. Someone's asking me to talk a little bit about my new album Electric Soul and what it's about thematically. I think for me a new album starts the day that the old one finishes. I think sometimes I think I haven't been creative for a spell of time, and then I look at my phone or in my lyric book and I find that actually there's hundreds of ideas there, some of them very small and some of them not that developed, but they're still ideas. So I think the words people say, the phrases they say, the ideas, the experiences that I have or that people close to me have, that all ends up in the music. So for example, on Electric Soul there's cool lively songs about being there for someone. There's my sort of trademark melancholy pop songs about loss or about the experiences that I've had. There's a song about home, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where I grew up, and there's a quite emotional track on the album called Too Much to Lose, which is about how I feel about home and what it's like to have a foot on each side of the Atlantic. I was a travelling child, so those themes are quite important to me. So thematically I think Electric Soul has a lot to it. It's evolved, it's moved forward as a sound for me as well. I think it was time for me to make an album that was solid from start to finish, and I think I managed to achieve that. Who do I look up to musically, and who would I like to record a song with? That's a tough, impossible to answer question. I collect a lot of vinyl, a lot of records, so my living room is covered with great records. And I guess lately I've been listening to a lot of soul, hence the title of the album. So there's been, Marvin Gaye, there's been Sam Cooke, a lot of the early soul reggae singers as well. If it's Gregory Isaacs or Bob Andy, but from contemporary stuff at the moment, I'm listening to a very cool band called Biblio, which I love. Even my friend Ed Sheeran's got a great new record out. I respect what he's doing a lot. It's very varied, I guess. I think if I had to record with someone, who would it be? I think Rihanna would have to be high up on that list, especially if I get to be in the video. It's a tough one. I think collaborations have to happen naturally. If you're in a concert or in a cool bar and someone that you have a mutual admiration for decides that we're going to record a track, then cool. But I think if it's your management talk to my management kind of thing, I guess it loses some of the magic along the way. Just anyone who's up for writing kind of positive tunes, really, I'm down with that. So what are the 3 most listened to songs on my playlist at the moment? There's another tricky one because it's all old music. I was really into a band called London Grammar. Obviously they're from London, I'm from London too, and we've worked with a lot of the same people, and they had a song called Strong, which was really popular, I think, out here, which I love the fact that it's a hit, but it's also a very deep song. It's really well written. Her voice is amazing, and the recording is completely spotless. So yeah, I'd have to say London Grammar is high up on the list. Who else? Obviously Electric Soul is in there, even though I've heard it one too many times now, I think, over the course of making it for 2 years. And I'm going to throw in, I'll have to go with Jean Aiko, who's she first sort of came to prominence, I think, from a worldwide point of view, by working with Drake, but she's been going for quite a while. She's got like a real mystical vibe to her music. It's got a real street edge to it, but again, I love lyrics, so I think some of her lyrics are really, really contemporary and poetic. So I'm going to go with Jean Aiko. Any of the tracks off her new EP are dope. So yeah, I'm going to say that. How do I deal with all the attention and success? I've been very lucky in my career, actually, because I think that the moments of like intense fame where I'm being recognised everywhere, they've been quite short. And for me, it's important that I'm able to sort of go about my day and observe the things that I want to observe, because that all ends up in the music at the end of the day. And also, I've comparing to, comparatively to Europe, I haven't been that successful in England, which is where I live, and so on a daily basis I can walk around and I can get on the bus and go to the supermarket without being recognised too much, and I really appreciate that freedom, because I know a lot of artists don't have it. So yeah, I think I'd say I deal with it quite well. That's another good question. When will you be playing live in Vienna again? As soon as possible, please. We've had some great shows here, some great gigs. I remember turning up here many years ago with my first band, Matterfix, and I turned up in a t-shirt and a leather jacket. It was -15 outside the hotel. And since then I've come a few times, got to know a few people here. I really appreciate the arts and culture that Vienna's famous for. The architecture is amazing. Walking around last night, you're constantly blown away. And I think playing a show or playing shows in that kind of setting is super cool. And so yeah, we'll be on tour early 2014, and if we can sneak in a club show before then, I'll let you know on the Facebook. How has being a dad changed your life? It's changed it in so many ways, so many positive ways that I wasn't expecting, actually. I guess I thought, how am I gonna be able to juggle this when I'm touring a lot, and am I gonna be able to do what I need to do to be a good dad? And I think that it kind of revolutionized sort of motivation that I have for doing what I do. It's not just about me anymore. There's a little boy to provide for, and I love the way that I can go and see him for a long weekend and turn the phone off, and I don't have to think about work or the music business or the pressures of life for quite a while, because he doesn't care about any of that. He wants his milk, he wants his food, he wants his bath. And also I found that it altered the meaning of some of the other relationships in my life. Yeah, also I think it changed the meaning of some of the relationships in my life. I think as a young man in the music business, trying to make your mark, you clash with a lot of people, and you sort of have to defend yourself a lot. And all of a sudden he came along and I was like, okay, well, I don't know if some of those conflicts are as important as they were, and I think he in many ways he softened that side of me in a good way, I think. So yeah, it's as I say, having my little boy has changed my life in many ways, in many good ways. First, what is my favourite thing about Vienna? lots of things I love about coming here. I've talked about the architecture, I've talked about the appreciation for the arts. I have to say, I think my favourite thing about Vienna is the artist and architect and general Renaissance man, Hundertwasser. When I first went to the Hundertwasser house and saw starting with the curved pavement outside and the amazing art and the way that he influenced Vienna, I think is quite important, and I was really drawn to that. You know, he said that for him a straight line was an evil thing. You know, he didn't want to see that. He loved to see curves and movement. I'm fascinated by characters that influence a city like that. You know, when you think of Barcelona, you think of Gaudi, and he had quite a big impact on Vienna in a more contemporary way in terms of how they thought about modern architecture. And I think it was quite brave as well for the authorities to give him permission to construct some of those buildings. So I'd have to say, yeah, my favourite thing about Vienna is Hundertwasser. Thank you for leaving your mark. Tough one. If I could be a different person, who would it be and why? I think from purely just like a fun perspective, I think it would be quite a giggle to be like Neymar or Leonardo DiCaprio or someone like that. From a quite serious point of view, I'd like to be in the shoes of someone like Obama or Merkel or Benjamin Netanyahu, more importantly at the moment, and see what it's like from that side, because I think for normal people, politics, it seems so obvious, the answers to things, and it would be nice to see from the inside what some of the compromises and some of the influences that are pulling our leaders in certain directions when we don't understand what that is. So yeah, I'd have to say those characters. 3 things that I can't live without and 3 things that I really dislike. So obviously I can't live without music, that's the first one. When you're travelling around, you can travel quite light, but there's just a few things I think that are really important to bring. Good reading material. At the moment I'm reading a Caribbean writer called V.S. Naipaul, who won the Nobel Prize for Literature, and he's a Trinidadian writer, and so yeah, I'd have to say books, music. The third thing that I can't live without, conversation is very important, as you can tell, because I'm always talking. I like good conversation. 3 things that I absolutely dislike are well, the main one, the thing that I hate the most in life, is celery. Cannot stand celery. I'll eat everything else on planet Earth, but celery, I think we should all sign a petition to make it extinct, because it really serves no purpose. It has no nutritional value either. In fact, I think it takes up more energy actually eating it than you get from the nutrients. So yeah, celery is number 1. Number 2 is all celery related products. No, so okay, number 2, what else do I really dislike? I guess, like if it's that person on the airplane that sticks their elbows across the handrest. No one likes that guy. That's always fun when you're sitting next to the businessman who decides he's going to stick his elbows across the seat. If you're that guy, just stop it right now. The third thing that I really dislike, I would have to say, I'm going to be all hippie and world peace here, and I'm just going to say, obviously, in the conflicts that are going on at the moment, we're talking a lot about Israel and Palestine. I hate the fact that there are a lot of civilian casualties, particularly children. As a father, I find that impossible to understand, even in a very complicated political situation. So yeah, I have to get my world peace answer into that. So good question though. Do Okay, this is a great question. Question number 10 is, do you ever Google yourself? Never, ever, ever Google yourself if you're a solo artist. It just leads to pain and sleepless nights. And definitely don't have Google alerts on your phone every time your name comes up, because I've never done that either. It's very difficult, I think, when you get criticism for a performance or for a song or for an album or for your lifestyle choices. I think artists love to think that they can ignore that and just go on and live their life, but it does actually, it hurts quite a lot. And I think that it's good to take constructive criticism from the people around you, you know, if you trust your manager or your family or whoever. But when you're reading reviews by journalists in particular, it's very, very difficult. So yeah, here's a word of advice for any up and coming musicians: never Google yourself.